Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is the third video in my whistleblower series. Today I want to talk about the new movie that's coming out starring Scarlett Johansson. Scarlett Johansson is such a beautiful American actress. I'm gay, but she's beautiful and she's blonde and beautiful, and I can see why all the guys love her. She has a new movie coming out. It's called Fly Me to the Moon. It's all about how the Americans faked the moon landing, which is actually only news to some people. It was pretty obvious to most scientists and mathematicians, especially the ones in the 1960s, which I'm about to talk about right now. So, a lot of you might think that the movie Fly Me to the Moon by Scarlett Johansson, even though obviously it is probably the most edgy thing out there right now, it actually doesn't spill any new information. In fact, it kind of sugarcoats. It's sugar. I don't know how to say this in Russian, so I hope Google Translate can translate this properly for my Russian audience. But sugarcoat, like when they downplay something. And the movie Fly Me to the Moon, about how the Americans faked the moon landing, it didn't talk about all the scientists. Remember the 1960s, there were lots of American and Canadian scientists who all knew that the United States did not have the capability, technologically speaking, to land on the moon. And so, what do you think happened to all those American and Canadian scientists? Obviously, there was a big cover up. Many people were killed, innocent people, or silenced or discredited. And when you're a scientist and you're discredited, you can't work ever again unless it's like I don't know, maybe working at Old Navy. But I would love to work at Old Navy because I love their sweaters. They're so cozy. Anyways, so imagine all of these American scientists and Canadian scientists, and probably there were some Russian scientists too, that were like, I don't believe that the Americans can actually land on the moon or that they even landed on the moon. And suddenly, everyone who comes out in the 1960s and says, this is a conspiracy, this is a sham, the Americans never landed on the moon, those people, especially in the 1960s, were either sent off to the mental asylum, called crazy, fired from their job, or even worse, even probably, maybe even killed too. And so I'm surprised Russia is not like first, and Canada actually, and actually Iran, sorry, and China. Sorry, I'm just listing countries that hate the United States, which is pretty much everyone. Okay, Japan hates the United States. Oh, no, sorry. Nobody hates the United States, especially Japan. After America dropped 2 nuclear bombs on Japan, killing millions of innocent Japanese families, I'm sure the Japanese forgot all about that. Anyways, sorry, let's get back to business. So, a lot of countries, scientists all over the world in the 1960s came forward and said, this is a sham. The United States we've seen their equipment, right? It's like, when you're in the locker room with a bunch of football players and like we all know we all know who's packing pretty much. And the scientists in the 1960s, they knew that the Americans did not have the technological or scientific capabilities to land on the moon. And these scientists, just like Galileo was persecuted for his beliefs, and a lot of other scientists were persecuted for their beliefs, these scientists in the 1960s were either, like I said, fired, sent off to it's called crazy, because they're the easiest way back in the 1960s was just to call everyone a conspiracy theorist. Oh, you're crazy. You think that the moon landing was fake? You're crazy. And then where's your tinfoil hat? Oh, you believe in aliens? You're crazy. Oh, you think that Bill Clinton felt you up in the White House? You're crazy, Monica Lewinsky. Like, you know what I mean? That's what the Americans do. They just call everyone crazy, right? So, by the way, question for you. Why do they say 9/11 was an inside job? Because I was thinking it clearly happened outside. Like, I don't get it. What do they mean when they say 9/11 was an inside job? Like, it clearly happened outside. I distinctly remember because I was coming home that day from school after 9/11, and half of our block was celebrating. Like, our neighbors, they were from Iran, and then our other neighbors were from China, and then the neighbors across from us were from what's that country? Anyways, the neighbors. Oh, Germany. The neighbors are, but the Germans were pretending to be crying actually. Yeah. So the on 9/11, a lot of people don't know this, but the Germans, especially in Germany, many of them were fake crying, like so that no one would suspect them. They're like, "Oh, our best American friend." I can't do a German accent. They're like, "Oh, our best American friends. Oh, we feel so bad for those Americans. We definitely don't still resent them after they beat us up in World War II." So the Germans were doing a lot of fake crying, pretending as if, they're innocent, right? After 9/11, which they probably were. Don't get me wrong. Let's face it, America has a lot of enemies. Like, there's a lot of countries around the world that hate America. Like, our teachers told us, they said, if you ever go backpacking in Europe, because, that was a fantasy for some reason. It was always about everyone wanted to go backpacking in Europe, right? If you ever go backpacking in Europe, our teachers in Canada always told us, make sure you wear a Canadian flag. Don't wear an American flag, because you might not return home back to Canada if you try wearing an American flag. And we were like, well, of course we're going to wear a Canadian flag anyways. We're Canadian, right? Unless we're going to the States, then we're going to wear an American flag, because Americans don't wear like Canadians, because we do shit like this, like what I'm doing right now, making fun of them. Anyways, I love Americans. I really do. I love those racist assholes. Anyways, Americans are great. I love them, but they did fake the moon landing. They killed a bunch of innocent scientists. They discredited innocent scientists. I'm a scientist, okay? I'm also homosexual, but I'm a scientist first, okay? That guy's hot. Anyways, I'm a scientist first, and Americans did fake the moon landing. You need to go see that movie by Scarlett Johansson called Fly Me to the Moon. Like I said, it sugarcoats what the Americans did, because technically, if it was a true whistleblower movie that was waking people up, it would be talking about how all of the innocent Russians, the innocent Americans, even American scientists probably came forward and said, hello, our country does not have the capability to land on the moon. All of these people have Canadians as well. Now, there's another thing too that I discovered. I can't say how I discovered. I would never give out my sources, right? But basically, it was Wikipedia. I used Wikipedia. Look, I'm making a joke here, but the truth is Wikipedia has a lot of good information. Okay. Hey, don't hate on Wikipedia. Anyways, according to Wikipedia, and I don't know who wrote this article. Anyways, but there was actually an operation that the Americans did, and I mean like a CIA operation. I don't mean like a doctor operation like on Grey's Anatomy when they screw up all the operations and whatever. There was a CIA operation where not only the Americans wanted to beat Russia first to the moon because there was a big space race, right? And so the Americans were like, well, we don't actually have to land on the moon physically. We could just pretend we did and shoot a movie, right? But instead of the movie, right, not just only the movie, the Americans actually also wanted to go behind Russia's back and try to take credit for Yuri Gagarin. So Yuri Gagarin was a Russian astronaut who is the first person in the world, at least in our lifetime, to go into outer space from the Russians. And the Americans actually considered and were looking into trying to see if they could take credit for going into space first. So they had a whole plan. They were going to discredit Yuri Gagarin and say that he copied, that they were going to try to say that the Russians stole blueprints from the Americans. And so the Americans had this whole plan to try to go behind Russia's back and make it look like Russia stole these blueprints from the Americans and that the Americans were going to go into space first. But then the Russians went in with their whole espionage, right? And there's all these shows portraying Russians as spies and stuff like that. And the truth of the matter is they are spies, but they're good spies. And most Russians, you never know, were spies. But listen, sorry, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. They're not spies, okay? Well, anyways, okay, they're not. Many Russians are good, nice, hardworking people, and and I won't say the other anything otherwise, or else I'll disappear. So, anyways, Russians are nice, hardworking, good people, and they're not spies. But I'll tell you what, they were the first ones to go into outer space. Okay, and if you look at the evidence is there. It's very simple. This time, it's very, very simple. Okay. But what the Americans tried to do was they tried to backdate. So you know how on like YouTube, for example, someone can change the date of a video and make it look like they made a video first, right? Well, the Americans back then, they didn't have the internet in the 1960s, right? So back then, their way of backdating was to try to like take books as literature and try to like, change the date on books to try to make it look like the Americans were the first ones to go into outer space. So, anyways, bottom line is the Americans, they're lie. Americans are not liars. They are people who like to bend the truth. By the way, did you ever remember that movie Bend It Like Beckham? So, there's a movie called Bend It Like Beckham, which was David Beckham, the soccer player, right? So, just a little side note. There was a big incident that happened when David Beckham came over to Canada. So there was something about an American gone to a fight with David Beckham. Okay, they were staying at the same hotel apparently, and this could be fake news. I don't know because I read this off of a tabloid, but sometimes those tabloids actually give real information out. So apparently, what happened was David Beckham gone to a fight with an American, and it was all over the news or all over the tabloids. And according to this, the American worked at NASA. And the American actually had the audacity to like badmouth David Beckham, the soccer player, who was like a legend in Britain, whatever. And there was that movie, Bend It Like Beckham, the movie Bend It Like Beckham. There was that famous movie, right? And can you believe, like, listen, it's one thing for NASA to fake the moon landing, and I'm an aspiring scientist. I am an aspiring scientist, and faking the moon landing is a big deal. But to go after David Beckham, and have you seen pictures of David Beckham? Oh my God. Anyways, that is a true crime. For NASA, a NASA employee to actually badmouth David Beckham, like, you really think David Beckham is going to go to Canada and pick a fight on purpose with an American, especially the one that works at NASA? Come on. And after the whole NASA faked the moon landing, yeah, damn straight, I believe David Beckham's story. He might, who knows, he might not even be, maybe the NASA employee was right. Maybe, I don't know, but all I know is the Americans definitely faked the moon landing, so they lost the credibility with me there. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take Bend It Like Beckham's David Beckham's side. I'm going to go ahead and take David Beckham's side because he truly is not an American hero. Is he Canadian? No, he's British. He truly is a British hero. Okay? Anyways. Okay, I hope you guys like this video. And please subscribe and like. I know you won't. And I hope I'm on YouTube for longer. I might not be, but if I am, then I look forward to seeing you guys, bringing you more information. And yeah, if you guys want to know who the real victims are in the world, it's scientists. Well, not just scientists, but it's also scientists, because everyone forgets about the scientists, you know? If Britney Spears, like, if she breaks her nail, like her fingernail, like, and she gets like a, you know, like, what was that girl? Like, she went to the salon, Angela, and she was making fun of the Koreans because they're like, oh, your nail is fine. Something about the nails, right? So anyways, what I'm trying to say is that scientists are often not treated with the respect that they deserve. It's not fair because big time celebrities like Joe Biden and Hunter Biden and Donald Trump, big time celebrities like Oprah, like if something happens to them, the whole world drops whatever they're doing, the whole world drops what they're doing to tune in. But if something happens to a scientist, like no one, it seems like, my opinion, like it seems like no one really cares. And it's not really right, because scientists, look at Look at Albert Einstein. Look at Nikola Tesla. Everything we have, all our technology comes from scientists and mathematicians. Our phones, trains, planes, automobile, medical, health-saving, life-saving technology all comes from scientists and mathematicians. Why aren't they given more respect in society? I don't know. Anyways, sorry, I was supposed to end the video a few minutes ago. I'm going to end the video now. It's a really long video. I hope I did a good job. I'm going to work on my public speaking skills and really try to deliver a good, cohesive, clear message. And I hope the message got through that we need to give more respect to scientists. And I don't care which country they're from. I don't care if they're Russian scientists, American scientists, Canadian scientists, German scientists, especially German scientists after Operation Paperclip. You know Operation Paperclip, where they went to recruit German scientists because they were so smart after World War II. Anyways, I don't care whatever country they're from, but scientists need more respect, okay? Okay, thank you so much. Danke schön. Spasiba. Gracias. Muchos gracias. Auf Wiedersehen. Do svidania. Ciao. Au revoir. Sayonara. Adios. Thank you. Okay, that's the end. Bye.